Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Single Chronicles. I'm your girl R.S. Lewis, aka Insomniac Writer, and can you believe it? We're back with a season 4. Well, I'm back, and I wanted to start this season off. It's Valentine's Day. I've done plenty of Valentine's Day themed episodes, but this year I want to do something different, and I want to talk about your friends. Yes, what about your friends? Because that's what the name of this episode is entitled. So if you're new here, make sure you heart, favorite, save, or lock in this, bookmark this podcast so you can come back to it and be notified of future episodes and stuff. For everybody else, welcome to the Single Chronicles.
Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone.
Okay, so season 4. I'm in the studio. I'm actually live on Instagram right now, which is weird. I decided I want to try something new. I know previously, I would upload these streams to YouTube, but I'm not doing that this year. I want to try something new. Hello. Yes. So I am recording episode 1, season 4. And I'm like, why not go live on Instagram? Make some money, get some badges. Hello, good evening. So I won't be doing this very often. And when I do, it'll probably be a subscriber only benefit. I'm trying to plug in this USB cord. It ain't working. There we go. And then I'm like, why do I feel stuffy in the studio? Anyway, yeah, so here I am. Hello, Instagram people. If you're tuned in live, again, this is going to be a subscriber benefit thing, but I wanted to try it out for the first time around and, get to talking. I'm talking about friendships and choosing friends and, the things that we don't realize that we do, like, especially single people. Like, single people, friendships are the staple of they're the backbone of for single people. We hang with our friends because we don't have that significant other. And good evening. And the thing about it is, we don't realize just how important and how crucial friendships really are. It doesn't matter if they're in person, they're virtual, whatever, long distance. Friendships are what keep us going because, you call a friend when you ain't got shit to do. Now, if you're in a relationship, it's different. It doesn't work that way. But you don't need that. You got, hey, baby, what you doing? But friendships are a crucial point. And I wanted to talk about that because much like picking significant others, we have to be careful who we put in our circle as far as friends. And a lot of times people don't even realize it, that the friends that they have are an extension of them. They don't realize just how the same way we kind of trauma face or trauma bond, should I say, or have these weird coping mechanisms with people. We don't realize we do the same thing with friends, even though it's not a romantic sexualized relationship. We don't realize that, but we do it too with friendships. And that extension of us is an extension of the trauma that we have yet to get over. And I kind of wanted to touch base on it. Now, I'm not going to do this big whole rigmarole and get into the psychology behind it. That's boring. And that's not what you're here for. That's not what the Single Chronicles is all about. But it is about the fact that, I like to tell stories and confess, if you will. Not, a couple times I've had some friends that, when they weren't even friends, the acquaintances that I met, I'm like, all right, everything's cool. And I realized this person's toxic as hell. So I just wanted to touch base, and I'm not going to be on live long for this entire episode. Like I said, this is just something I wanted to try out for a little bit. I'll probably be going on TikTok lives more often, not just doing Zumba, but I figured I'd get on my Insta and chit chat about it. The whole friendship thing. So hello. For my listeners right now, do you ever find yourself like realizing that you have certain friends and you're like, oh my God, this person's bringing me down, or oh my God, I feel like I'm bringing them down. I don't, you kind of like push them away. You gravitate towards certain people more than you do the others. And I never really thought about it until probably a couple weeks ago. And I guess that was in the wake of losing friends and losing a lot of people. It felt like I had back-to-back funerals. Like, likewise, I feel the same about you too, Mel. Like, it's just weird because it got me to thinking, and I guess life is so precious and it's so unpredictable, and I hate to use the word short because your life is the longest thing you'll ever experience. Think about it. Don't think too hard. But you think about it, it's not short, but it's unpredictable. You don't know when your last day is. You don't know when your number's going to get checked, called, or whatever. And like me, for example, I try to do all this healthy stuff, but that doesn't guarantee that I'm gonna live longer than anybody else that's doing none of the shit that I'm doing. It just means that maybe my quality of living while I'm here might be better, but it doesn't guarantee anything. And again, like I said, with friendships, what kind of friendships did you have that hindered you? Me personally, some of my friendships hindered me from getting into a relationship because I got comfortable. I got I got so comfortable in the relationships that I was in and the people that I was around. I was like, I don't need no significant other. I don't want one. And I kind of like it became my crutch. So you got those types of people. Then you got the type of people that choose toxic ass friends just like they choose toxic ass boyfriends and girlfriends. And that going on and moving along, it just made me say, you know what, I gotta talk about this shit. And I guess confession time. Yeah, I wouldn't be me if I'm not real on my show. Like I'm always like, I don't just call people out on their stupid shit. I call myself out on some stupid shit. But like now, unlike the way I used to be when I caught people on stupid shit, I would forgive them. Oh, you know what? You know what? You didn't mean it. And I made excuses for it. Didn't matter if it was a relationship or a friendship. I always just did that. Like I always made excuses for the fucktivity. Thank you, person on Insta. I'm like, I don't think it's like I was like, why am I making excuses for this person? Now I'm just like chucking up the deuces, not deuces. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this person. They're no good for me. And at first, like I said, like with relationships, oh, I need that closure. I gotta explain myself to him. No, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, and then I'm gonna keep it pushing. We're not gonna argue. We're not gonna go back and forth. I'm not gonna explain. I shouldn't have to explain to a real friend or anyone that says that they love me or care about me, and vice versa. Me loving and caring about them why they did wrong would be no different if it was the shoe on the other foot, and they would say, "Hey, Rose, you did this, and I don't appreciate it, or I don't like it, or it wasn't cool." Like that was wrong. You know what I mean? So those things and any relationship, even if it's a professional relationship, you know, when you call somebody out on something, and you got to pay attention to words. If you call some recently I called somebody out on something and I was like, "Yo, shit, bro, the shit wasn't cool what you did." And they didn't take ownership of it. You ever notice like you got to pay attention to when people take ownership to something. Like if I called like in my particular example, I called them out on it and they didn't say, you know what, I was wrong or I shouldn't have did that. It was like, oh, I'm sorry if you took it that way. I'm sorry if it came off that way. That is not taking accountability or ownership for being for doing anything wrong. And don't get me wrong, I used to do it. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that I'm no different than, I'm perfect because I've done the same stupid shit consistently, in my past. And then I had to really say, all right, Rose, are you going to take accountability for it? Or are you going to get defensive and get in the corner and be like, oh, I'm sorry that you took it that way. No, what I did hurt you. Even if what I did or what you did may or may not have been wrong or right. That's not the point. The point is taking accountability for the fact of how you treated your friend and how your friend is feeling. Now, we can't be responsible for everything that may trigger people. We just can't. But you can take ownership for the things that you do that will hurt a friend. Like you just have to. And when I called this person out on it, still didn't own up to it. Never owned up to it. Never was accountable for it. Never. And I said, you know what? It is not my responsibility, not at 42, to sit up here and be like, this is what you did wrong. Like, I'm not going to hold you by the hand like I would my child. Like, no, I don't even do that with my child. My child's grown. She ain't even a child no more. So I'm not going to hold you by the hand and tell you what you did wrong. Like, you ain't in kindergarten, you're not a child, and neither am I. So that being said, we have to really be mindful and just pay attention to words, because phonetics are very important, and people don't even realize it. They don't realize what they say. And then when I really started getting into the words of everything that a person says, and I'm not saying get hung up on it, but when you listen and you understand or overstand, you start to think like, oh yeah, you fucked up, and you ain't even, you know what I mean. So that was something that little bit right there gave me understanding about the types of people that I was choosing and the types of people that I was allowing in my social circle. And I had to put a stop to it, because it was taking a toll on my mental. Like, why the fuck am I even fucking with you? So, I had to cut some people off. And I'm not saying that you got to be mean. You ain't got to be ignorant. You ain't got to cuss somebody out. You ain't got to be, you know what I mean, irate. Ain't got to be like a yelling game or a fight or nothing like that. You just say, you know what, I can't be with you like that. And I have people that have tried, since being in this mindset, being in this thinking process, and being in this like this new version of me and healing or whatever. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I forgive you. I'm not going to sit up here and be petty and be like, oh, no, I don't forgive you. But that doesn't mean I got to let you back in my circle because I forgave you. That doesn't mean that I got to, we got to be the best buds that we used to be. Nope. That just means that I accept your apology. I've forgiven you. I probably forgave you before you apologized, because holding a grudge is dumb. Sometimes we hold these grudges with people. And for what? There's a saying that, yes, lack of self-awareness is a real thing. And there's this saying that, like, we're holding grudges. It's like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to get sick. I'm not gonna hold no fucking grudge. I don't got time to do that. But I can still push on and keep it moving and go on about my way. I don't have to, you know what I mean, like, be mad forever. No, let that shit go. That shit gonna eat you up from the inside out. And for what? They going about their own business. And the same thing applies when you have these relationships and you break up with someone. Just move on, let it go, bruh or sister, whoever. Like, I guess maybe getting older, and it made me realize that life is too unpredictable, and it's too sudden. I just lost a friend. It was just fucking turned 40. You think I'm gonna sit up here and waste what time I got left on this planet with a grudge? Or trying to make you understand or make a person understand what it is they did wrong now. So again, the Single Chronicles isn't always about dating and finding a mate. Yeah, exactly. Forgiveness is for you, not for them. Thanks, Mel. I thank you for consolidating all I said. But yeah, it's like this, and like I was about to say, like, the Single Chronicles isn't just about dating and relationships and finding a mate. Or it's actually about how to be the best version of you while you're by yourself before you jump into this relationship. And that includes the people you hang about in that scenario. I see a lot of people on these podcasts saying, oh, well, I want this type of person. I want this type of person. This is the type of person that's me. What do they bring to the table? What inner work are you doing? Where are you looking at on the inside to say, okay, what type of person am I? What am I bringing to the table? And we're not talking about tangible shit. You know what I mean? Where's your mental? Like, are you over these fucking past traumas and these past relationships, your childhood shit, all the stuff? Before you go dragging somebody into that. And then again, that goes with friendships too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, friends help each other heal. We pass the time. We do so much. Like, I have some great friends, not even just here in this field, like my homegirl Mel. You know what I mean? Like, I have so many close, good friends, best friends. That I would call, like, even if I don't see them every day. Guess what? They are just they're there, right here. And that's what it's all about. That's what helps us get through this thing called life. you know um and it's just very, very important. Another thing I noticed in the time that I was away from since what season 3 concluded, I noticed that I was gravitating towards the same type of people. And I'm like, all right, wait a minute, Rose, why? I had to ask myself, I had to take a step back. Like, wait a minute, yeah, some people never get over love. Guess me, I get over it, under it, through it, and by it, and I'm all the way down the street with it. I'm not gonna sit up here and just be stuck on the same thing. But again, when I got out of one shitty ass friendship, when I let one trifling ass friend go, you know what I mean? I realized that I kind of gravitated towards the same type of person. And I was thinking, like, why do all these people keep gravitating towards me? Lack of accountability. You know what I mean? And yes, we do attract friendships as a result of our childhood trauma, just like we attract relationships that way. And again, there was another part of my childhood trauma that I didn't really grasp onto, that I didn't want to face head on. And I didn't. And I just kind of just like, oh, nothing, whatever. I just let it kind of go over my head. Or I just kind of put it in the corner. I let it sit over there, you know. And I just told myself, Rose, had these little conversations with me, no, you're fine. So I kind of just avoided it and just pretending it wasn't really, it was them. These are the types of people that are gravitating towards me, not me selecting these people, because all types of people gravitate towards you every day, from the Starbucks, to the gas station. Shoot, I've had conversations paying tolls on the bridge. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all types of people will come your way. People will slide in your DM. Who in your DMs who's out of the people that slid into your DM, who did you respond to first? Who did you interact with? Who did you start to text and talk and have conversations with? So those types of things are the questions that I had to ask myself. Okay, well, why did I respond to this person versus that person? Why am I hanging out with this person versus that person? Like, 4 people to say, hey, Rose, this week, or way my schedule is, in 3 weeks we want to hang out. Which one out of those friends did I gravitate and make the time for first? And I had to ask myself, all right, what the fuck other trauma did I need to reveal? So that being said, this was very important for me to open this season with friendships. And taking a step back, getting back in my little hole of my little fortress of solitude, if you will, and reflecting, doing some inner work and doing some inner reflecting as to why I told myself I needed to fix people, because I didn't want to fix myself. It was easy for me to help somebody with their own shit. And most people that have been listening to this podcast, especially since season 2. Season 1 was a little all over the place, but season 2 going forward, I've always been good at helping other people. Like, even with the fitness stuff, even with my nutrition. Like, I recently got, I got my first certification with nutrition. I got to print up my my award and take a picture with it. But there's certain things I know I shouldn't be eating. And there's things I will tell my clients that they shouldn't be eating. And guess what? I'm eating it. But I'll tell people, don't do as I do as I say. But then it takes it back to that accountability. I can't expect my friends to be accountable with me if I'm not going to be accountable with myself. And it's all about that self-awareness. It's all about being, responsible and taking ownership for your shit. Because no one's going to take you seriously if you never do. And then you're going to end up gravitating towards these shitty ass people, right? Be it relationships, friendships, or whatever, or something in between. And you're going to be like, why am I here? All the fuck all over again. Because you didn't do the work on the inside and fix this shit. Like I said, I put it over there in the corner. I avoided it. That's what I did. And I'm not going to sit up here and put other people in the accountability corner and not put myself. I know last season, there were a couple of times I put myself in it. Like, I knew that I was trying, like, I had a little DM texting call situation with someone, I knew in the back of my mind this wasn't going no fucking where. I knew that this person wasn't worth a damn and wasn't interested in me outside of any something physical. And I just kept riding that wave like an idiot, and I knew better. I'm sitting there looking at myself like Rose, you know better. Like, why? Like, you know this shit ain't gonna go nowhere. Why? And I'm just looking at myself conduct and going with the fucktivity. And I talked about, how it started, how it went on, and how it ended, and why it ended the way it did, and why it even started from the beginning. So I called myself out last season on a lot of stuff. So if you didn't tune into season 3, in particular, the second half of season 3, yeah, I went from collecting stories and confessions from other people to put my own confession in the box and put my own self in the accountability corner. And this whole friendship thing was no different. It was no fucking different. You know what I mean? I had to check myself and let someone know, like, yo, B, you. I don't know if y'all remember DMX, Dark as Hell is Hot. We had a little interludes. He was like, "You're a real stupid ass nigga." That was me talking to me. Like, I was just having that conversation with myself. What the fuck is you doing? Like, this person just is a self-absorbed moron, and you are wasting your time. So, I went back to the drawing board and I said, you know what? I'm not going to be so fast to want to have friends and acquaintances that I just kind of just like put me to the side and try to help and heal this person. I got my own shit to worry about. So that's what today's episode was about. And I don't let my podcasts go too long. Like, if you tuned in to any of the podcasts, like, this is not going to air until Monday. So you guys are getting like a little sneak peek online, like the ones that are here on live. But as of probably I'll do this one more time, maybe next Friday. But anyway, this episode will air on Monday. So 6 a.m. If you have iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Google, all the other ones, this will be there 6 a.m. It will have the accountability corner. I'm going to cut off before I get into that. Usually I call it like the writer's reflections, because I'm about to get off live and go to that part of the podcast episode. So if you want to tune in, be sure you can click all those links in my bio. I think that takes you directly to Spotify, but I will you can always find me anywhere. So if you listen to podcasts on iHeartRadio, the Single Chronicles is there, and this full episode will be there too. You can find all of that. So I definitely want to thank everyone that tuned in here on Insta. I appreciate you guys. I don't know if anyone bought a badge. That's fine. That's okay. Feed the homes. I need a cup, jingle it with some coins. That's what I'm gonna do next time. But that being said, I got a few trailer reactions to do also, and I have the writer's reflection. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get off this live and get into the writer's reflections. And hopefully you guys enjoy this podcast when you listen to it on Monday. Yeah, I got a lot of shit to do. I'm so behind. I've been so focused on Zumba and twerk out and the Love Yourself Wellness that I haven't been focused on this, and it's back. So I gotta put my time. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in on the live. Let's get to the writer's reflections. I'm going to see y'all on a flip-flop. Check out later on YouTube. I should have a teaser reaction for Resident Evil, as well as the new Fast and Furious, which we already know I'm excited about because Jason Momoa is going to be in it. So there's that. Anyway, thank you guys. I love you, and I will see you. I'll be talking to you on the podcast. So make sure you tune in wherever you need to tune in. Thank you, Anthony. And check me out. Again, if you want to get access to behind the scenes and filmings of these podcasts, be sure to subscribe on here on Insta. You can also subscribe on TikTok, because I will be going live synonymously on both, but it's going to be subscriber only. Something I'm trying out. I'm trying all of it. Trying to get my coins for 2023, because Can't put all my eggs in one basket. That is employment, because it just doesn't, life doesn't work that way. So I love you all. Thank you. I appreciate you. Besos, kisses, hugs, Shabbat Shalom, all that good stuff. On to the writer's reflections. Hey guys, are you looking for a place to throw your party? Have a little have a baby shower, birthday, bar mitzvah, whatever you're looking for a space that is a relatively budget friendly, won't break the bank, and you have creative freedom to decorate and do as you shall. You want to head on over to exhibitastudio.com. They got what you're looking for. They are within budget. They are very reasonable, and they have some good availability, and it's in a great neighborhood, so you don't have to worry about the drama spewing. Or if you are a fitness enthusiast or an instructor like myself, you teach Zumba like me, or you are a personal trainer, you're thinking about branching off into group fitness, whatever you want to teach, head on over to exhibitastudio.com. They're located at 2745 North 47th Street here in Philadelphia, and they will definitely work with you. They have great rates for instructors and people just looking to, use an event space. Again, that's exhibitastudio.com, located at 2745 North 47th Street. Give them a ring, follow them on the gram at Exhibit A Studio, and give your creativity some space. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning into the Single Chronicles. Today we talked about selecting friendships, and I did this anonymously online because I wanted to kind of get a reaction from a lot of my followers on Instagram. I will do this next week, and I will be live on Instagram, like I mentioned before, as well as TikTok, but it will be synonymous, and it will be something I'll probably do one more week with the public, and then I'll give people time to subscribe. But that being said, what about your friends? It's just like the song, like the TLC song, do you have friends that will be there for you, that will let you down, and so on and so forth? It took me losing a really good friend to see who my friends were. I don't let people on to when I'm feeling down, and that's something I need to work on. That's something I've like, therapists have told me that, other friends have told me that. I'm always the one that's trying to fix people and help people, because then I used to think, okay, well, it'll help me feel better about what's going on in my life, when it's actually just distracting me from it, and it's preventing me from healing and doing what I need to do to get better and to get past that trauma. It's just distracting me, and I'm allowing it to, because I'm pushing my problems to the back burner. And on top of that, I am holding all this in. I'm just keeping it bottled in. It's not getting out, and it's something that I need to work on, and I'm doing that. But again, it took going through a situation, and it was like I had to really tell some people, like, I'm going through something. I'm sorry. I can't help you with your shit right now. I'm sorry. This is me dealing with me. This is me healing me. You know what I mean? Right now, I can't be there for you. Right now, the roles that I portrayed to everyone the majority of the time is not available. And that's what led me to realize I got to change how I pick friends, because I'm picking the types of friends that gravitate towards that, super savior type of person, to that toxic positive friend that everything's perfect. when in all actuality it's not. So I definitely had to get away from that. I definitely had to stop because it was tearing me apart. Because I would just be like, there would be this it was like a part of me was in this like soundproof box screaming, you know what I mean, dealing with my own hurt and my own pain and my own trauma. And meanwhile, I just have that silence so I can focus on other people, so I can help them through this shit. And like the person that I'm not going to call them out. I'm not going to at them or give them any more attention, because my thing is I had to realize the person for what they were, who they were, and I had to realize who I was and the role that I play. It wasn't like one bad situation revealed who they were. They've been revealed who they were. I chose to ignore that. The same way I chose to ignore those bad traits in people that I called myself being in a relationship with. So again, with that being said, you know, I had to, I really, 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 really had to take a look in the mirror and just be like, you knew that this would happen. Like you knew that this was the type of person that they were. Most people reveal themselves who they are before you even ask those serious hard questions in dating and in friendships. And we choose to ignore those. There's red flags in friendships. There are red flags in relationships, and we choose to ignore them. I chose to ignore them. I've always chosen to ignore them. I don't know. I just did. And now I'm working on it. So again, I had to put myself in the accountability corner this week. Now, I don't want to draw this out longer than it has to be. I want to keep this episode a little short. I like to keep them under 30 minutes if I can. But again, guys, yeah, this was my confession episode, I guess. What about your rings? Now I'm going to be singing that on the way home. Lord have mercy. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Single Chronicles. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed tuning in on the live on Friday if you did. And I'd like to do more of these. I like to stream more of these if I can in the future and go from there. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. I will see y'all later on the flip flop. And I'm going to end this like I end all of my videos and everything else. Be awesome, be you, but above all else, love yourself. Take care. All right, I'm out of here.
I am sad and so